Man, the Houston Texans found a secret weapon that's going to be huge for them going forward. If you're new to the channel, we are actually Detroit Lions fans, but we cover teams that don't get the love nationally like they should. Houston Texans, one of the teams that we love to cover. You won't see any Cowboys on this channel. National media loves them. Why? I hate it. Houston Texans here. So here it is. Blake Cashman named team's secret superstar of 2023. Now what they did, PFF went around and said, "Hey, what from each team, who are the kind of the secret superstar guys that didn't receive the accolades or whose stats didn't tell the whole story?" So this is what our channel is all about. Like, what the national media is never going to cover. This dude, fifth-year linebacker, joined the Texans via trade from the Jets in 2022. He went from a backup to just having the best season of his career. A team high and career high, 106 tackles, right? So he's just a starter, productive, steady. D'Amico Ryans, like, this is what happens when you have coaching changes and different changes. You've got opportunities for guys to step in and be really good. Just the new voice, new scheme, whatever. So that's why it's kind of exciting, or really exciting, for the Texans to find this guy. He finished with 2 sacks, 84 PFF grade, the fifth highest among all linebackers. So Texans fans, you've got Will Anderson, core player. Now you look at, like, all right, I've got a linebacker, 26, 27 years old. Boom, right? Like that steady linebacker. And you look at the Lions did the same thing. Alex Anzalone, just kind of a backup kind of guy. Steady, 110, 111, 120 tackles, like year in and year out now for the Lions. And he's just a go-to guy that you can count on constantly. Well, now the Texans have that. And it says in this article, and I think this is perfect, CJ Stroud and Will Anderson, superstars in the making, no question. Then you got Laramie Tunsil. Outside of that, what do you got? Well, you got a team that's not too top heavy, but depth at multiple positions. So while you're rebuilding and figuring out what you have, you made the playoffs. Hello. So that's awesome. But you just found out a lot about your team and individual players. So let me know in the comments your thoughts on this guy, Blake Cashman. Awesome. But here's the deal. He's going to be a free agent. But let me just, this happened with Alex Anzalone. I think he's a perfect comp for this. Anzalone came in on a 1-year deal. And then do you think Cashman's going to leave where he just had career highs and everything on a team that's on the ascent, coach that he loves, scheme that he plays well in? No, he will be back. So this article says he might not return in 2024. The Texans do have the third most expected salary cap space. So Nick Caserio could try to retain Cashman at a reasonable price. Absolutely. And it doesn't even have to be reasonable at this point. And here's what I mean by that. If you're going to start bringing back your own, you bring back your own people into the building versus go out. I don't know what I have in other free agents out there. So you might have a linebacker that you consider about the same or better, but he hasn't been in the building. Where this linebacker has been in the building, you know what you have, you know his strengths, you know his weaknesses, you know what you can build on. And oh, by the way, he had career highs and team highs in all those categories. So it's going to be reasonable because he's not a top flight name. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's going to be reasonable to begin with. And I wouldn't screw around and try to get him for cheap or whatever. You know what you have here. And this is kind of the formula. Again, we're Detroit Lions fans. We're hyped up on it. We don't always talk about the Lions, but I see the comparison is so good with Lions and Houston Texans right now. That's what the Lions did. They did 1-year deals like crazy for the first 2 years. And then those guys that proved themselves and they brought them back, rewarded them with 2 or 3-year deals. And the guys that, just didn't fit or whatever, it's easy to walk away from. But you got to find out what you have in your core. And so to see that this guy produced and you know what you have in him, absolutely. You pay him, right? And again, you've got cap space. You've got a young quarterback. And this is the time, right? Because CJ Stroud, incredible leader, great player on that rookie deal. So if you're the Texans, you have to look at these next 2 years as like, all right, we have to get super aggressive in free agency because we can, because we've got money to play with. And then we're going to have to pay CJ. We know that at that point he's going to take 55 million a year. I don't know what that number is going to be. Who cares? You're going to pay him. It doesn't matter. But the point is, you've got 2 years of some wiggle room here to really pay other players. So this like backup linebacker that came your consistent starter, pay him, dude. We know. Come on, like it's a no brainer. Also, a couple more minutes left in this video. Let me know your thoughts on the Detroit Lions. Would love to hear it. Love this channel. We give you an unbiased look into your team. We're not a fan of your team, although we are a fan of the Texans. Love what they're doing. Love your quarterback. But you know what I'm saying. We're not clouded by the in and out judgment of it all. Love the Texans. And so let me know in the comments your thoughts on the Lions. Let me give my overall overarching thoughts on the Texans from an outsider, a fan of a different team. You are rebuilding. I'm using air quotes here. If you're listening in the car, you're not seeing this. Rebuilding, but you're not. It's clear like rebuild's over. Now it's time to draft well. We have to draft well, and we have to get free agents at a timely, strategic manner. But you have the quarterback. If we did a redraft right now, everybody thrown in, he would be one of the top guys off the board, right behind like Mahomes and the main guys that we know. You've got one of the top 5 quarterbacks, and I say top 5 because of his age, his contract, his trajectory, his future. Says the right things, carries the front. I mean that. That's worth. You can find a backup D end. If you got the quarterback, all right, we'll figure out who our second safety is. Right, that stuff's easy. The hard part is getting that quarterback in the most important position. You have that. So while you're rebuilding, you're making the playoffs. So while you're rebuilding, you're having fun and doing the right things. It's awesome if you're a Texans fan, because thing that we always talk about is, man, I just want to have relevant, meaningful games late in the season. Can we have that, please? Texans, you've been there. Lions fans, we've been there. Where you're 1-10, you're 2-8 at Thanksgiving, and it's just like, what are we doing? Now you've got guys in place, coach, quarterback, everything's in place to really do a lot of good things. So again, if you're new to the channel, we don't talk Cowboys here. They get enough love nationally. We talk about teams that don't get the love nationally, things that we're seeing, and unbiased look into your team. We talk Texans, Browns, teams that get ignored by the national media. So make sure you subscribe. Go Lions. Lions-Texans one day would be awesome. I don't know. It could happen. You never know in the Super Bowl. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.